Hello everybody, in this video, Giles Culley, Head of Instruction at Susegården, gives me a private lesson where we both work on how I mount as well as on the basics for safety. So we wanted to show you the full lesson so that you can experience what it is like to have a private lesson with Giles at Susegården. Some of my followers say that he's the best instructor in Sweden. Some of my followers also say that he's one of the best instructors in the world. I will leave you to that when you go and visit Susegården in the south of Sweden. But basically, we wanted to show you what I experienced firsthand. And if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe.
I think what makes Susegården quite unique is the fact that we take every client as an individual.
Right.
We look at what they do, both their pluses, their good points, and their negatives.
Okay.
And then we work with the material we've got. There is absolutely an underlying theme to how we structure shooting, or how we found over the years a method to make shooting easier. But each individual person is going to need to work on different parts, just as a golfer might have to work on different parts of their swing or their mental game.
Yeah.
And it is both a physical game and a mental game. Some are very strong in the physical, some are strong in the mental.
Right.
And what we're trying to do is raise all the levels to the highest level that individual can achieve, and then they can go forwards with confidence. It's so important that when people shoot, they feel confident about their ability. If they can follow that through, even on a bad day, they know how to fix their situation, which is just crucial.
But as a newbie, because I've been shooting for just 1.5 years now, what can someone like me expect if we come to Susegården and have a lesson with you, for example?
I think, again, we let you shoot, we watch you shoot, see what you do, then we have to appraise the areas where we need to polish and improve. And we all need improving. You know, this is one of those sports, it's a lifetime sport.
Yeah.
You know, if you think of how many people have shot, 100 straight in a sporting competition, it's incredibly few when you can think of how many thousands of 100-bird competitions have been held. Yeah. So it's, we're constantly working on ourselves.
Let's polish my shooting.
Okay,
I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
Okay. Have a look at this bird from the tower, see what you think. Here it comes now.
Yes. It's coming towards me, one.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a driven bird.
Yes.
What we've got to look at is just the line of the bird. I'd probably like you to focus on the right edge because the wind's just taking it slightly right.
Yes.
And then when you're ready, just enjoy whatever picture you feel it needs.
Right.
Okay, so just do your normal thing. Let's see how we go. You ready? Now. Lovely, great shot. Again.
Ball.
Very nice.
Do you also have this thing that they have to be perfectly aligned? No? I'm a weirdo.
All right, 2 more. That was lovely. Are you ready?
Pop.
Right. Good.
Pop.
Lovely. Well done. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move across a little bit. We're going to change the bird. That was a lovely start. Now what we're going to do is take a bird that's coming up the side of you, right-hand side.
Yeah.
But we're going to step a little wider. That wind's doing some interesting things. Come across, Andrea, just a little bit more, just to increase the angle.
Yeah.
So the reason for having a rib on a shotgun is that the human brain understands parallel lines. Now, could you take your left finger and just point at this bird and follow it? Here we go. Is your finger rising or falling? Rising the whole time as the bird got closer?
Yes.
Good. Now, what we've got to do is keep that rib parallel. So close the gun for me. Good. Pop it up to your face, please. Now, we're going to turn your torso over.
Oh, okay.
So that the rib is parallel to the flight of the bird.
This is the first time I do this. Wow.
Okay.
So, okay, and this is purely to maintain
the line.
The line. That's why we tip.
Exactly.
Okay. Wow,
So
good.
the reason why in any one shot we've got two things to work out. We've got to work out the line and we've got to work out the lead.
Right.
By working and being parallel and turning your torso so that you're parallel to flight, you've already fixed one of the dimensions already. Then all we've got to really work on is the lead.
Right.
How far ahead we've got to shoot. Here we go now.
Oops, too far
Just
ahead.
could you run a little bit below the bird?
Yeah.
About 5 centimeters below it. Here
Yeah.
we go. Just under. Beautiful shot.
It's the first time I try shooting, so like bended, or I don't know
Yeah.
how to how do you say it when you're like this?
I think, you know, if you were to pick up any sort of game shooting magazine from Northern Europe, the UK, whatever, you're going to see a lot of photographs of people turning. And the only reason for that is to try to stay parallel to the line.
So is that when the bird does a little thing like this, or like
No,
if you had to describe the line, if you had to draw the line?
Yeah. I think if we did it up here, like from a geometry perspective, the bird's perhaps not getting higher, but as it gets closer, it feels as if it's rising.
Yeah.
If we didn't turn the gun, we would slide below it. We could still give it the same amount of lead, but we'd be missing X below.
Right.
And I would suggest, in my experience, there are more game birds missed below.
Because of that.
Because people don't read the line very well. Right. So this is to help with that. Have another go.
Yeah.
Ready. Okay, here it comes. And just below it. Well done. And one more.
Paul.
Well read. It was a slightly different bird on the wing.
Yeah, I was. Good. Is this the same bird, or was it?
Yeah, no, the wind, and that's a good thing. Yeah,
the
a
wind.
Pheasant, a partridge would be different, one after the other.
Now the difficult thing for me will be to identify those birds where I have to tip a little bit.
Okay, now.
I mean, if you wouldn't have told me that, I would have never.
Okay, let's have a little bit of fun whilst we're talking about this.
Yeah.
If we imagine that metal tower is 12 o'clock.
Yes.
So you shot some beautiful straight birds. You didn't have to turn your body.
No.
All you did was shoot a little bit in front.
Yeah.
Then imagine the top of a clock. Here's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
Yes.
11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So for the 9 o'clock bird and the 3 o'clock bird, there's no reason to turn the gun at all because it's parallel to the ground.
But one.
Then we come into the 10 o'clock. The 11 o'clock requires more turn. Then we come to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then we're back flat to 3 o'clock. Try if you can, as a bird is coming towards you, just to maybe quickly categorize it. Okay, oh, this is quite a steep bird, so now I've got to turn a little bit more. Oh, this is a flatter bird, so perhaps I don't need to turn quite so much.
Right.
And it's experience. The more you have a gun in your hands and you're reading the birds, be it a live bird with feathers or a clay pigeon, the more you're thrusting the line into the forefront of your mind. Reading the bird is the key to good shooting.
So am I correct in saying that the closer to 12 o'clock,
the steeper
the turn?
Quite right.
Right.
And I must say, the more uncomfortable it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get onto some high birds in a minute where we can have them just off the shoulder. And you might find that you're almost having to be doing this just to stay up on line.
Right. Okay.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
That's the challenge.
You.
Good.
Yeah. This it looks promising.
For us, this is sort of, the fundamentals of understanding this sport is reading the bird, because the concept of actually putting a roadblock of pellets in front of a moving target is not that complicated.
Yeah.
What complicates it is the angle by which it's flying and keeping on that same line. And of course, the aspect of distance. The further away, the bigger the perceived lead, for example. Ultimately, what we're trying to do is simplify this sport. I think sort of anybody in my position who's trying to, complicate it or blind people with science is really doing their clients or their customers absolutely no favors at all. The more we can simplify this is ultimately a ball sport that we're playing. And if we can keep it simple, it's going to be nice and memorable for the person.
Absolutely.
So when they're out shooting their sporting competition or when they're out game shooting, when things aren't going so well, they need to have a fix mechanism, a quick fix. Therefore, to give somebody a long list of things is not going to help them at all. It needs to be short, concise, and practical.
I mean, but I know that these things ultimately get automated in your pre-shooting routine.
Yeah.
So you just think of those things automatically when you ask to see the bird first.
And for those people, when you're practicing at a playground or a shooting school, really for us right-handers, use the left hand to follow the bird.
Why the left hand and not the...
It's your working hand. So it's the hands that your barrels are extended through.
Right.
So this is your pointing, following hand.
Okay.
Your right hand is just your safety catch, top lever and trigger. So your right hand does the little jobs and your left hand is the powerhouse.
So that's another thing I was doing wrongly. When I went out there, I always pointed with my right hand, but from now on it's safer
always left
to do it with it. Because, it makes sense because when you're holding the gun, it's your left hand
Indeed.
that is here.
And all the best shots in the world point their finger. And the barrels are an extension of the finger.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I see a lot of people shooting like this and I don't understand how they can shoot well. But holding it with the finger like this, I feel like I am actually pointing at the
And it's quite interesting. If you just grip the forehand, good. What that does, by pointing a finger, it just softens the muscles in your forearm. When you grip it like a baseball bat, that can go like a piece of rock.
Yeah, it is.
And how that reacts is the gun moves in a very jerky fashion.
Yeah.
Well, the pheasant's not flying in a jerky fashion, it's flying very smoothly. So, we want that smoothness and that accuracy. And then also, the huge thing is safety.
Yes.
Now, usually what I tend to do is ask somebody are you a clay pigeon shooter or are you a game shot? And some people might say both. And then I would have to say, okay, well, today, what do you want me to concentrate on? And if they say game shooting, then we really come into a completely different realm of safety.
Right.
On a trap layout, skeet layout, there might be quite a lot of concrete around, and therefore people quite rightly close the barrels up here because they know that there's nobody out in front of them. From a game shooting perspective, or the closing part, there are a lot of people out in front. So every time we close the gun, we close it down to the ground and then lift the barrels up before we even touch the safety catch. And this is a huge part. So we can't close and take an unsafe gun past those people who are out in front of us.
So basically, if today we were focusing on game shooting, you would make me close my gun up.
No, down into the ground. Yeah.
And if we were clay pigeon, trap shooting.
Yeah, then you can close it up.
Here.
Just as you normally do, just bring the muzzle away from any concrete or solid structures.
Right.
Should I steal that for a second?
Yes. Sure.
So big difference. Literally, from a game shooting perspective, let's, for example, say that the drive is coming this way.
Yes.
We'd be closing the gun down into the ground, coming up into our ready position. And at this point, we would basically be pushing the safety catch forwards as the bird comes.
Yes.
Then once we've done the shooting, bang, if you wanted to open your gun, we need to bring that safety catch back because now we're bringing a safe gun past those who are providing the sport for us, the beaters. Right. From a sporting trap or skeet perspective, no problem to bring the barrels up here, because you know there's going to be nobody out in front, because it's an artificial environment, if you like. But a big thing also, using the safety catch. It's there for a reason.
Yeah.
So load, close, lift, safety, bang. I need to reload, safety back, barrels down.
Right.
So it's a slightly different part of the brain. You know, the game shooting, we've got to keep the environment safe. But from a sporting trap skeet perspective, most people probably wouldn't even touch the safety catch.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yes.
So come and have a look. Now, I would like you to look just to the left of those Christmas trees.
Yes.
And we're going to have a bird that travels up your left-hand side now.
Right.
So we're going to take your left finger, Andrea, and we're going to follow. Ready? Here it comes now.
Yeah.
Was your finger rising or falling?
Was rise. It
Absolutely
was rising.
right. So now we're just going to drop that right shoulder so your rib is parallel. You can follow one if you want with an empty gun.
So we're gonna tip it, you said?
Yeah, you're going to, but this way this time.
Yeah, because it goes that way.
Exactly. So we're
If
going
it were going that way, if it was
then
going, yeah.
You've got it.
All
Good.
right.
So just gun down off your shoulder.
Yeah.
There.
That
All right.
much?
That much.
All right.
And that means that your torso is going to turn as well.
Yeah.
Come back to the Christmas trees. Here it comes now. Parallel.
Yeah.
And one more. Ready. Here we go. Parallel. And look.
Yeah.
Good. All right, should we have some shots?
It's such a difference when I start like this. I mean, I just realized how many birds I've broken doing it the wrong way, and I feel it's easier, but let's see.
Yeah,
let's see now.
I mean, physically, it's a little bit demanding to turn, but it's
but it's
the
comfortable.
right way.
But it's also comfortable.
So closing down,
Down
muzzle up, good,
and
and safety catch when you're ready, Andrea. Well done. Okay, are you happy?
yes.
Here it comes now. Well done, good. And number 2, here it comes now. Mouth, look, safety catch, and open. Good.
Good.
So closing down, lift, and safety. Turning.
Turn.
Well done, that looks great. Here it comes now. Mouth, look, and one more. Here it comes. Mouth, look, safety catch. Very good. Lovely.
What do you think?
I think it's great. But
Did I get the basics?
completely. But also, if you listen to your rhythm,
Yeah.
for shooting, there is a real rhythm. So I always think for myself that there are 3 principal parts.
Yeah.
The creation of the mouth contact, but at the same time, the placing of the muzzle on the back of the bird. Then the decision on what the picture should look like. And we're all different. We're all going to see slightly different images.
Yes.
And then finally the bang. So my head words are this: mouth, sky, bang. Mouth, sky, bang.
Okay.
Mouth, sky, bang.
But do you always start mounting?
No,
No.
always gun down.
Okay.
For 80% of people who shoot globally, that is their biggest problem, because nobody
Mine.
ever told them how strong it needs to be.
Or where it should be, really.
Or where it should be. I mean, as we've discussed, we've talked about the mouth contact.
Yeah.
So why the mouth? This is the softest part of the face, so it's hard to bruise it.
Yeah.
It's also the slimmest part of the face.
Yeah.
As soon as the wood starts to come up to the cheekbone, the eye is, or the head is pushed to the left, and then that makes it very difficult to look down the rib. So many people actually look down the left-hand side of the gun because they've over-mounted and brought
Okay.
it here. by going to the slimmest part, it's quite easy to keep the eye nice and straight.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
And again, we're trying to go back to just simple logic here.
Yeah.
We are not trying to reinvent the wheel.
No.
We're trying to keep it very simple.
Good.
All right?
Yeah.
So now I think we go back to the right-hand side, and you're going to be dropping your left shoulder and staying parallel. Now, that wind is pushing it away from us. It's increased the distance. So we're going to keep the left shoulder down and parallel.
Yes.
But now you're going to look for a slightly bigger distance in front because the bird's a tiny bit further away.
Okay.
Close. Good. So automatic. That's well done. Now, if you turn,
Yeah.
Good.
Also the head as well.
Everything. Brilliant. That's your starting point.
Starting point. Mouth.
Okay, ready? Let's go for it.
Yeah, paw.
Here. Now just
Behind.
a little bit more sky.
Yeah, paw.
Now, look ahead. Front edge. Good. Good. And safety catch back.
Yes.
Good. So close.
Close.
Lift.
Lift.
Safety catch. Okay, imagine the space that you need to see. Here we go. Now. Sorry, you call for it. Lovely. Well done. You call for it, Andrea.
Paw.
Look. Safety.
Safety.
Good.
Sorry, I never use my safety because I'm always doing like, not skeet, but mainly when I'm in Spain, it's trap shooting. Here it's sporting, but
Yeah. And also, you know, many people who have an automatic safety catch, they'll say, well, I have an automatic safety catch. But how do you know that it works?
Exactly.
What happens if it's broken? The beautiful thing about using your thumb is if it's broken, you'll know about it because it'll hurt.
Yeah,
So I don't think we should ever rely on anything mechanical.
absolutely.
Keep working that safety catch with the thumb.
I was just never told to do it that often because I was more focused on the, not competition, but like on the technical things. And that was maybe too much for me to think of. And maybe now it's the time to start actually doing it.
And for us, it's very much about muscle memory. So, you know, the sooner it's in the spine, you know, it's there, and that makes the environment even safer than it currently is. Okay, so come forwards a little bit.
Yes.
And I want you to have a look up to the left-hand side. And I'm going to send just into this piece of sky, and I'm going to send a bird, and I want you to try to identify where you can first focus on the clear, sharp edges. Ready?
Yes.
Here it comes now. So where would you say that bird was in the sky when you could really see it nice and clearly?
Where the cloud is moving now.
Fantastic. Now, that would be the starting place for your muzzle.
For your muscle.
That's where the gun starts.
Yeah.
But your eye looks back slightly to the left, where it starts to see movement.
So not on the trees, but
Not
somewhere
on the trees,
in between.
just literally soft vision, or between literally the edge of the trees and the muzzle. Come and have a go with an empty gun, Andrea. We don't need to shoot necessarily.
Yes.
Okay, so muzzle to that pickup point. Well done, good. Up a little higher perhaps. Good, you call for it.
Paw.
And again, one more time. So muzzle to your pickup point, good.
Paw.
So do you see how lovely and smooth that start is? Now, I want you to do it wrong. I want you to start with your barrels back just on the tree line.
Yeah.
Ready, you call.
Paw.
Feel how we're a little bit more under pressure.
Yeah, my movements were...
Much sharper. And that's not a good start for the brain or for the eyes.
Right.
So wherever you can focus hard on the edges, that's where your muzzle starts, and your eye looks back as deep or as shallow as necessary.
So I see the throwing machine.
Yes.
I know the line
Yes.
because I've seen it already. Where is the whole point? Where should my eyes be looking at when I'm calling for the clay? Should I be looking at the throwing machine so that I see where it's coming from, or should I not be focusing on the throwing machine because it's going to give me so much stress?
I think it's a perfectly legitimate question. If we look at it from a clay shooting perspective, let's again try to find out where we can first focus on the bird. Here it comes now. So for my eyes, Andrea, I think I could focus on that bird perhaps 3 to 4 meters over the top of the tower.
So you're not looking at the throwing machine?
No. So my muzzle would start over, but of course I'm going to look for that first piece of movement through the barrels.
Right.
That means I'm going to have a very calm connection to the bird.
Right.
What I'm not going to do is end up or start by playing catch up, which is stressful and pressurized. I want the calmest connection to the bird, waiting for the mouth, then I'm going to employ whatever picture I think.
Okay, right. So from now on, I'm going to stop looking at the throwing machine.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, look that little distance out. For example, if we look from left to right, here it comes now. Oh, here it comes again. So we see movement back here, but I think that would be dead movement. So better to have the muzzle those few decimeters out from the bushes, drive straight to the back edge, wait for the mouth, and then shoot whatever picture the brain says.
Great.